This is RearView TV. This is not speculation. This is not social media panic. This is a confirmed and escalating military confrontation involving the United States, Israel, and Iran, with consequences already moving through global markets. And tonight, we ask the question few are asking directly. What does this mean for Africa? What does this mean for the Black world? And how should we respond? In recent days, coordinated military strikes were carried out involving US and Israeli forces, targeting Iranian-linked military infrastructure. Iran responded with missile and drone operations. Regional armed groups, including Hezbollah, became active. Airspace restrictions followed. Energy markets reacted immediately. Sources reporting include Reuters, Associated Press, The Guardian, and regional diplomatic advisories. This is not symbolic escalation, it is structured military movement. Nearly 20% of global oil supply passes through the Strait of Hormuz. When that choke point is threatened, oil prices rise, shipping insurance increases, freight costs surge, and inflation spreads. For African nations importing refined fuel, including Ghana, Kenya, Senegal, Morocco, and others, that means higher pump prices, food transport pressure, currency strain, budget stress. This is how distant wars reach African households, not through missiles, but through markets. Africa is not neutral in global power shifts. Security partnerships are diversifying, trade currencies are diversifying, and strategic alliances are evolving. Burkina Faso and other West African governments have expanded cooperation with non-Western partners. Iran has increased drone exports to parts of Africa. Gold-based trade structures have replaced dollar-denominated contracts in some contexts. And pause. This does not automatically trigger retaliation, but history shows geopolitical repositioning attracts scrutiny. In 1953, Iran experienced a foreign-backed coup. In 1961, Congo's leadership was destabilized. In 2011, NATO intervened in Libya. These are documented historical events, and memory shapes perception. When force is used against nations outside Western alignment, questions naturally arise. President Donald Trump has framed military action as a preemptive defense. Supporters argue deterrence prevents greater war. Critics argue escalation risks instability. But for Africa, the key question is not partisan politics, it is structural exposure. And pause. When superpowers act, smaller economies absorb shock. And now, another development. The United Kingdom has announced its support for US military positioning in this confrontation. This matters, because when transatlantic allies align, the signal to global markets and to rival powers becomes stronger. Let that breathe. The UK is a permanent member of the United Nations Security Council. It is a nuclear-armed state. It is deeply embedded within NATO structures, and it has historic economic and political ties across Africa. So when London signals alignment with Washington, this is not symbolic. It reinforces Western bloc cohesion. And when bloc cohesion strengthens, markets interpret that as coordinated positioning. For example, when allied governments move in alignment, energy and defense sectors react collectively. That can influence oil pricing expectations, currency volatility, and investor behavior across multiple regions at once. Pause. This is how geopolitical alignment becomes economic pressure. For African nations navigating diversified partnerships, whether with China, Russia, the Gulf states, or others, bloc consolidation changes the diplomatic landscape. It increases pressure, it narrows room for ambiguity, it raises the stakes of strategic positioning. This is not about choosing sides emotionally. It is about understanding power geometry. And for the Black diaspora in the United Kingdom, this moment carries additional meaning, because when Britain engages military abroad, domestic economic consequences often follow. Energy prices, public spending priorities, inflation pressure. These policy decisions ripple through communities in London, Birmingham, Manchester, just as energy shocks ripple through Lagos, Accra and Nairobi. This is why RearView TV speaks beyond borders, because global power moves do not stop at national lines. They affect Black communities everywhere through economics, policy and structural exposure.
Deep breath. This is not automatically World War III. But if oil spikes and your grocery bill rises because of a conflict 4,000 miles away, that's not prophecy. That's structure. Maybe the better question is, why are we still economically exposed when giants start swinging?
Should Black people be worried? Worried? No. Aware? Absolutely. The world is restructuring in real time. This moment reinforces three truths. Military power still shapes geopolitics. Economic independence determines resilience, and diversified partnerships are survival tools. Africa strengthening AfCFTA, refining capacity, regional trade, and financial systems will weather storms better. This is not fear messaging, it is strategic literacy. Africa is officially a nuclear weapon-free continent under the Treaty of Pelindaba. Only one African nation, South Africa, developed nuclear weapons. It dismantled them. Pause. Does that make Africa vulnerable? Nuclear weapons deter invasion, but they also trigger sanctions, isolation, and catastrophic risk. Africa is 54 sovereign states. Who would control such power? How would trust be maintained? Modern power in 2026 is not defined only by warheads. It is defined by critical minerals, demographics, trade leverage, and strategic geography. Nuclear weapons are a 20th century model of power. The 21st century may look different. Reports are emerging that a Saudi Arabian oil facility has been struck. Initial confirmations indicate infrastructure disruption. Details continue to evolve. Saudi Arabia is one of the world's largest oil exporters. When infrastructure inside Saudi territory is targeted, global energy markets respond immediately. Oil futures react, insurance premiums rise, shipping costs increase. For African fuel importing nations, this could mean higher pump prices, food inflation, and currency pressure. This is how wars far away touch households thousands of miles from the battlefield. Does this mean world war? No, but it does mean the economic dimension is widening. If energy routes remain unstable, Africa faces short-term pain, but there is also opportunity. Energy producers, Nigeria, Angola, Algeria, Libya, may see demand shifts. Domestic refining becomes urgent. Regional trade becomes strategic. If oil becomes a weapon in this conflict, energy independence becomes a shield. To our Black family across Africa, the Caribbean, Europe, and the Americas, the world is shifting, power is realigning, but we are not spectators. We are informed, we are connected, we are strategic. Global instability exposes weakness, but it also reveals opportunity. Africa's future will not be determined by missiles alone. It will be determined by preparation. This is RearView TV, and we do not panic at history, we analyze it.